The lights downtown were brighter than usual that December, like the city was trying a little too hard to convince everyone they were happy. Strings of gold and red wrapped around lampposts, music spilling out of shops, people walking hand in hand with scarves pulled tight and smiles that looked practiced. I stood near the outdoor cafe, warming my hands on a paper cup of coffee, watching snow fall in slow, careful flakes. She was late. I told myself it didn't matter. She always ran late, but Christmas had a way of making waiting feel heavier. When she finally arrived, her cheeks were red from the cold, her hair dusted with snow, her eyes bright when she spotted me. "Sorry," she said, breathless. "My mom kept adding things to the list. You know how it is." "It's okay," I said. "I wasn't going anywhere." We walked together through the square, shoulder to shoulder, not touching but close enough to feel each other's warmth. Carolers sang near the fountain. Someone laughed too loudly. Somewhere a bell rang. She stopped near a large Christmas tree covered in white lights. People were tying little paper tags to its branches, wishes written in pen, folded with hope. She smiled at me. "They say if you make a wish here, it comes true." "I doubt it," I said lightly. "Still," she replied, pulling a small card from the box, "it doesn't hurt to try." She handed me one and a pen. "So," she said, tilting her head, playful but curious, "this Christmas, what's your wish?" I stared at the blank card, longer than I should have. I could have written anything. A better job, more money, a fresh start, things people expected. Instead, the truth pressed up against my chest, heavy and honest. I lowered my voice. "Don't tell anyone," I said, half joking, half serious. "I wish I wasn't alone." Her smile faded, not into pity but into something quieter, something real. She didn't answer right away. She just looked at me, really looked, like she was finally hearing something I'd been saying without words for a long time. "That's not a small wish," she said softly. "No," I admitted, "it's not." She took the pen from my hand and wrote something on her own card, shielding it from view. Then she folded both cards carefully. "Come on," she said, "let's hang them." We reached up together, tying the wishes to the same branch. Our hands brushed, just slightly, but neither of us pulled away. For a moment we stood there in silence, lights reflecting in her eyes. "You know," she said quietly, "people think being alone means being by yourself, but sometimes it means being surrounded by people who don't really see you." I nodded. "That's exactly what it feels like." She turned toward me fully then. "You're not invisible," she said. "You just haven't been met where you are." Her words settled into me slowly, like warmth after cold. "Can I tell you something?" she asked. "Yeah." "My wish," she said, "was for courage." "Courage for what?" She smiled, nervous this time. "To stop pretending I'm fine with shallow connections. To stop walking away from people who matter just because it feels safer." The snow fell a little harder. The world seemed to soften around us. "I didn't know you felt that way," I said. "I didn't either," she admitted. "Not until you said what you said." We started walking again, slower now. The crowd thinned. The noise faded. At the corner, she stopped. "Are you going somewhere after this?" "Home," I said, "same as always." She hesitated, then said, "Would you like to come with me instead? My place is small, nothing special, but there's hot tea and terrible Christmas movies and company." I looked at her, searching for hesitation, for doubt. I didn't find any. "I'd like that," I said. Later, sitting on opposite ends of the couch, mugs warming our hands, a movie playing neither of us was really watching, she glanced at me. "You know," she said, "being alone isn't something that changes overnight." "I know." "But," she added, smiling gently, "tonight counts." I smiled back, feeling something loosen inside my chest for the first time in a long while. Outside, the snow kept falling. Inside, I wasn't alone. And for the first time, my wish didn't feel impossible. The movie kept playing, but neither of us paid attention to it anymore. The room felt warmer than it had earlier, not because of the heater, but because the silence between us had changed. It wasn't empty now. It was full. She pulled a blanket from the arm of the couch and hesitated for half a second before draping it across both of us. "Cold?" she asked, even though we both knew it wasn't really about that. "A little," I said. She shifted closer, careful, unhurried, until our shoulders touched. The contact was light, almost accidental, but it sent a quiet calm through me. I hadn't realized how long it had been since I'd sat next to someone like this without feeling like I had to perform or impress. "Can I ask you something?" she said softly. "Anything." "When did you start feeling alone?" The question caught me off guard. I thought about it, really thought about it. "After college, I guess," I said. "When everyone started building lives and I just kept moving forward without feeling like I belonged anywhere." She nodded slowly, like she understood more than she let on. "I think I've been lonely even when I wasn't alone." I glanced at her. "How so?" "I surrounded myself with noise," she said. "Friends, plans, distractions, but I never let anyone sit in the quiet with me." She leaned her head back against the couch, eyes fixed on the ceiling. "Tonight feels different." "Different how?" "Like I don't have to fill the space," she said. "Like it's okay to just be." The movie ended without us noticing. The screen faded to black, the room settling into a softer silence. She turned toward me then, her expression open, a little vulnerable. "Do you ever worry," she asked, "that if you let someone see you too clearly, they'll leave?" "All the time," I admitted. She smiled sadly. "Me too." Without thinking too much, I shifted just enough so my arm rested behind her. Not around her, just there, an option. She noticed. After a moment, she leaned in, resting her head against my shoulder. The weight of it felt grounding, like something falling into place. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Outside, a car passed, tires crunching over snow. Somewhere, someone laughed. Life kept going. "I'm glad you said your wish out loud," she murmured. "I almost didn't." "I'm glad you did," she repeated, "because it made me brave enough to stop pretending I wasn't wishing for the same thing." I swallowed. "You were." She nodded against my shoulder. I just didn't know how to say it. We stayed like that, the world narrowed down to shared warmth and steady breathing. No rush, no expectations. Eventually, she lifted her head slightly. "You know," she said with a small smile, "it's late. If you want to stay, you can." I looked at her, searching her face. "Are you sure?" "Yes," she said gently. "And not because it's Christmas, because I don't want you to go back to being alone tonight." Something in my chest eased at her words. "Okay," I said, "I'll stay." She smiled, relief softening her features. "Good." She stood, then paused. "I'll grab an extra pillow. You can take the couch if you want." I smiled back, mirroring her kindness. "We can figure it out." She returned with the pillow, and this time when she sat down, she didn't leave space between us. She tucked her feet under the blanket and leaned into me again, comfortable now. As the lights dimmed and the room grew quiet, she whispered, almost to herself, "Maybe being alone isn't about not having anyone. Maybe it's about not letting anyone stay." I rested my head lightly against hers. "Then maybe this is how it starts to change." She smiled, eyes already closed. "Merry Christmas," she whispered. "Merry Christmas," I replied. And for the first time in a long time, the night didn't feel heavy. It felt shared.